The air in the dimly lit room felt thick, like a suffocating presence lingering in the shadows. The only source of illumination came from the flickering candles placed strategically around the room, casting dancing shadows on the peeling wallpaper. The atmosphere was tense, charged with a palpable energy that sent shivers down my spine. We were a group of five, huddled together in a circle on a creaky wooden floor, surrounded by the remnants of forgotten furniture. My name is Lily, and I had always been intrigued by the paranormal. The unknown fascinates me, and tonight curiosity had led me and my four friends to embark on a journey into the realm of the supernatural. Sarah, Jake, Emma, and Mark, all close friends since childhood, shared my interest in the mysterious. Little did we know that our pursuit of the unknown would plunge us into a nightmarish ordeal that would haunt our dreams for years to come. The Planchette, a seemingly innocuous piece of wood with a small window, rested in the center of the worn out Ouija board. It was an antique borrowed from Mark's eccentric uncle, who claimed it had been passed down through generations. The air inside the room grew colder as we placed our trembling fingers on the planchette, our eyes locked in a combination of fear and excitement. Is there anyone here with us? Sarah's voice quivered as she broke the silence. We sat in breathless anticipation, our hearts pounding in our chests. The planchette remained motionless, mocking our naivety. Maybe we need to concentrate harder, Mark suggested, his eyes scanning the room nervously. Let's try again. Is there anyone or anything in this room with us? The candles flickered erratically, as if responding to an unseen force. The planchette stirred, its movement slow and deliberate. The words it spelled out sent a chill down our spines. Hello, hello. Nervous laughter erupted among us, an uneasy release of tension, yet a gnawing feeling of dread lingered in the room. The planchette seemed to have a mind of its own, gliding effortlessly across the board. Who are you? Emma asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The planchette spelled out a name that none of us recognized, a name from a forgotten past. It claimed to be a spirit who had once dwelled in the decaying house we now sat in. As the night wore on, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. Shadows seemed to move on their own, whispering secrets that were lost to the wind. The planchette, now a conduit to the unknown, revealed tales of tragedy and despair that sent shivers down our spines. The temperature dropped, and an icy breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the candles one by one. Panic set in as darkness enveloped us, and the planchette continued to move, spelling out cryptic messages that spoke of revenge and unfinished business. Enough of this! Jake exclaimed, his voice laced with fear. We need to end this now. But the planchette had other plans. It refused to release us from its spectral grip. The messages became more sinister, the entity more malevolent. It claimed to have been wronged in life and sought retribution from the living. A sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut, trapping us in the pitch black darkness. The planchette, now an instrument of terror, spelled out a chilling warning: live or suffer. Fear consumed us as we fumbled of darkness, desperate to escape the clutches of whatever malevolent force we had unleashed. The air grew thick with an otherworldly presence, and unseen whispers echoed through the desolate halls. In the inky blankness, we stumbled over each other, blindly searching for the exit. But the house seemed to shift and contort, its corridors twisting into maddening labyrinths and led us in circles. As we stumbled through the oppressive darkness, the temperature plummeted, and our breaths materialized in the frigid air. Shadows danced on the periphery of our vision, and distant whispers became anguished screams that reverberated through the haunted house. In the heart of the abyss, we found ourselves standing in a room we hadn't entered before. The walls were adorned with faded wallpaper, peeling to reveal the skeletal structure of the decaying house. A single, flickering candle illuminated a figure huddled in the corner. A spectral woman, her features obscured by the shadows, slowly raised her hand. Her eyes, empty voids that seemed to devour the feeble light, fixed upon us. The planchette, now hovering above the Ouija board, spelled out the woman's name, a name etched at the annals of the forgotten. The room seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy as the vengeful spirit revealed her tactics tale. Betrayed and forsaken in life, she had lingered in the darkness, shackled to the ruins of the house that had witnessed her demise. The Ouija board, a portal to the ethereal, had become our unwritten invitation to her spectral prison. With each passing moment, the air grew heavier, and the walls of the room seemed to close in on us. The woman's anguished wails echoed through the desolate halls, a symphony of torment that resonated in our very souls. Driven by a desperate need to escape, we pleaded for mercy, promising to right the wrongs of the past. The planchette, now an instrument of judgment, spelled out a chilling ultimatum, a task that would free us from the clutches of the vengeful spirit. Guided by the spectral force, we embarked on a nightmarish journey through the twisted corridors of the haunted house. The walls seemed to close in on us, their oppressive weight bearing down on our fragile sanity. Shadows whispered malevolent secrets, and unseen hands reached out from the darkness, their touch like ice against our trembling skin. As we navigated the labyrinthine halls, the air grew colder, and the oppressive darkness seemed to swallow us whole. The planchette, a spectral compass, directed us to a long-forgotten chamber hidden deep within the bowels of the house. In the heart of the chamber, we discovered a forgotten relic, a weathered journal that chronicled the tragic tale of the vengeful spirit. As we read the words penned by a tortured soul, the room vibrated with an otherworldly energy. The spirit's anguished cries reverberated through the chamber as we vowed for right the wrongs of the past. The Planchette, now a conduit to the redemption, spelled out a ritual that would break the shackles binding the vengeful spirit to the decaying house. With trepidation, we followed the instruction outlined in the journal, performing a ritual that transcended the boundaries between the living and the dead. The air crackled with energy as the vengeful spirit's cries grew more desperate, her ethereal from writing in the shadows. As the final incantation left our lips, the oppressive darkness lifted, and an eerie silence settled over the chamber. The spectral woman, her feathers now softened, gazed at us with eyes that held a glimmer of gratitude. In that moment, the decaying house seemed to exhale a sigh of relief, its haunted corridors now silent. The Planchette, no longer an instrument of terror, rested peacefully on the Ouija board. We emerged from the chamber, the weight of the supernatural ordeal lifting from our shoulders. The once malevolent atmosphere had dissipated, replaced by a sense of catharsis that hung in the air. As we stepped into the cool night air, the moon casting its silvery glow over the abandoned house, we couldn't shake the lingering feelings that the spirits of the past had found solace. The Ouija board, now a relic of a haunting night, remained behind, a silent witness to the ethereal dance between the living and the dead. We left the decaying house behind, forever changed by the harrowing experience. The Planchette, now a dormant artifact, served as a chilling reminder that some miseries were best left untouched. The whispers of the vengeful spirit echoed in the recesses of our minds, a haunting melody that would forever resonate in the chambers of our souls. I sat in the dimly lit room with my friends, the air thick with anticipation and nervous energy. We were gathered around a makeshift table, hands joined, and a sense of trepidation hanging in the air. The room was adorned with flickering candles, casting eerie shadows on the walls, amplifying the spine-chilling atmosphere that enveloped us. We had decided to try the Ouija board, a seemingly harmless board game that claimed to connect the living with the spirit world. A sense of curiosity and fear mingled within me as we placed our hands on the planchette, a small triangular piece of wood that rested on the board. The room was silent except for the creaking of the old floorboards beneath us. "Is there anyone here?" Emily, one of my friends, asked tentatively. We waited in silence, our eyes fixed on the planchette. The room seemed to grow colder, and an uneasy feeling settled in the pit of my stomach. Suddenly, the planchette moved, slowly gliding across the board to the letters. Yes. A collective gasp escaped our lips, and a shiver ran down my spine. We exchanged nervous glances, but curiosity got the better of us. "What's your name?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling slightly. The planchette began to spell out a name: Alex. The air in the room seemed to grow heavier, as if an invisible presence had settled among us. "How did you die, Alex?" I inquired, my voice barely above a whisper. The planchette spelled out the words slowly: accident. A chill ran down my spine as the realization sank in. We were communicating with a spirit, a child named Alex who had died in an accident. "Why you are here, Alex?" Emily asked, her voice shaky. The planchette moved with purpose, spelling out words that sent shivers down our spines. "Help me." A sense of sorrow and sympathy washed over us. We had unwittingly opened a door to the other side, and now a lost soul was reaching out to us for help. The room felt charged with a strange energy, and the shadows seemed to dance in a macabre celebration. "What do you need help with, Alex?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. The planchette spelled out a series of words. "Find my body." The realization hit us like a freight train. Alex's body was missing, lost in the aftermath of the accident that had claimed her life. We were now entangled in a supernatural quest to help a restless spirit find peace. The planchette moved with an urgency that matched the intensity of our growing fear. It spelled out a location: an old abandoned house on the outskirts of town, a place we had heard rumors about but never dared to explore. As the planchette pointed to the letters, a cold wind blew through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging us into darkness. Should we go there?" Sarah asked, her voice shaky. The room felt like a tomb, and the silence was deafening. We exchanged hesitant glances, the gravity of the situation sinking in. The decision had been made. We would embark on a journey to the abandoned house to find Alex's body and lay their soul to rest. As we stepped out into the night, a thick fog clung to the air, cloaking the world in an otherworldly haze. The abandoned house loomed in the distance, its broken windows staring like empty eye sockets. The wind whispered through the skeletal branches of the surrounding trees, creating an eerie symphony that echoed our apprehension. The door cracked open with a spine-chilling groan as we entered the dilapidated building. Our flashlights flickered, casting long shadows on the peeling wallpaper that adorned the walls. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay, and the silence was punctuated only by the distant howl of the wind. "Alex, are you here?" Emily called out, her voice echoing through the empty halls. The planchette in her hand seemed to quiver with energy, guiding us deeper into the heart of the abandoned house. We followed its lead, our footsteps echoing like a macabre drumbeat. As we descended into the basement, the temperature plummeted, and an oppressive darkness enveloped us. The planchette moved with purpose, pointing to a spot on the cold, damp floor. We hesitated, then began to dig. The wooden floorboards gave way to dirt, and our hands clawed through the cold earth. A gasp escaped our lips as our fingers brushed against something solid. We uncovered a small, withered skeleton, the remains of Alex. The realization that we had uncovered the tragic truth of a lost soul sent shivers down our spine. As we stood there, surrounded by the decaying walls of the basement, the temperature dropped even further. A soft whisper filled the air, a voice that seemed to echo from the depth of afterlife. "Thank you," it said, the words carrying both gratitude and sorrow. The planchette, no longer bound by the force that guided it, fell to the ground with a hollow thud. The air in the room seemed to lighten, and the oppressive darkness lifted. We had fulfilled our unintentional pact with the supernatural, laying to the rest the spirit of a child who had been trapped in the limbo between life and death. The journey back to our world felt surreal, the abandoned house fading into the mist behind us. As we stepped out into the night, the fog seemed to part, revealing a moonlit landscape. The air was still, and an uncanny calm settled over us. The Ouija board lay forgotten in the corner, a relic of a night that had forever changed our life. We had crossed the boundary between the living and the dead, faced the haunting reality of a lost soul, and emerged on the other side forever changed. In the days that followed, we struggled to reconcile the supernatural events that had unfolded. The memory of Alex's desperate plea for help haunted our dreams, a constant reminder of the fragile veil that separates the living from the dead. The abandoned house stood as a silent witness to our otherworldly encounter, its broken windows and decaying walls a testament of the secrets it held. The town whispered rumors of our harrowing experience, and the curious glances of our neighbors seemed to pierce through the facade of normalcy we tried to maintain. As the year passed, the memory of that fateful night lingered like a ghostly specter. We had ventured into the realm of unknown, confronted the supernatural, and unearthed a truth that transcended the boundaries of life and death. The Ouija board, once a simple game, had become a portal of the macabre, a reminder that some miseries are better left undisturbed. And so, we carried the weight of the night with us, a collective scar etched into the fabric of our existence. The child spirit named Alex had found peace, but the echoes of our encounter reverberated through our lives, a haunting reminder that the line between the living and the dead is a fragile thread that can be easily shivered. As I sat alone in the quiet darkness of my room, the shadows seemed to dance in the corners, and the air feels charged with an otherworldly energy. The Ouija board, long abandoned, rests in the recesses of my closet, a silent testament to a night that forever changed the course of our lives. The supernatural is a realm best left untouched, and the memory of that eerie encounter serves as a chilling reminder that some doors should never be opened.